This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It's so great to be here helping you with playing the guitar. In this video, we're going to be learning the F and G7 chords. So those chords are new to us. We're going to also be playing the C chord as well. C, F, and G7 are frequently played together in the key of C major. And we're going to be mainly playing in the key of C major. So even though we've done a lot with the C chord, we're going to continue to work on the C chord in this video as we're learning F and G7. It's going to be great. Now this video does accompany Lesson 8 from my Chords and Harmony Books 1 and 2 method book. So if you have that book, we're going to be starting on page 46 while we work on and learn these chords. You'll see diagrams there. And then we're going to be on pages 47, 48, and 50 playing song numbers 3, 4, 9, and 10 as we jam together, you, me, and the band, working on these chords, and the strumming pattern that we'll be doing, which is actually up here on the board. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Really familiar strumming pattern to us, but we'll be using that familiar strumming pattern as we're working on these new chords. Okay, so let's dive in here with these chords. The nice thing about C, F, and G7 is our ring finger stays in the 3rd fret for all 3 of these, and our middle finger stays in the 2nd fret for all of these, and our index finger stays in the 1st fret for all of these. It just is a matter of what strings they're on. So the C chord that we're familiar with, we've got 3, 2, and then that open G string, and then our index finger on the 2nd string. When we go to F, we're going to move these 2 fingers, our ring and middle finger, just up a string is all. And then we're actually going to collapse our index finger so that it covers both strings. Alternatively, when we're playing G7, we're actually going to take each one of those fingers and move them out to a different string. So the ring and middle fingers move to the lower strings and the index finger moves to the higher string, and we get G7. So our fingers are working in a similar pattern. That's really nice about these chords. We're not changing up sort of the fingering that our fingers are positioned in. We're just changing what strings they're on. So let's look at the G7 first. We'll come back to F. It's a little bit of a squirrely one, perhaps the most challenging of these cowboy or open position chords. But if we take a look at G7 first, you take your C chord and then you just move the middle and ring fingers out and your index finger out, you end up with G7. So our index finger goes on that high string, 1st fret, and then we go all the way to the 5th string with our middle finger on the 2nd fret, and we go to the 6th string on the 3rd fret with our ring finger. And then all the other strings are played open that happen in between. So the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings are played open, and we've got G7, and you can just sort of strum that one and get comfortable with it. It's a nice big chord that loves to resolve to C. So what you want to do once you're familiar with the G7 is go back and forth between C and G7, just trying to finger that, find where those are. Now you can plant your index finger first and then move the other 2. Plant your index finger first and then move the other 2. With this chord, sometimes it works great to actually just move the low 2 and then move the index finger. As we're going to be strumming the low strings first, getting those in place first can be helpful. So another strategy, one of the strategies that I've taught for switching chords in this lesson series is find your index finger, then the middle, then the ring, and sort of plant them in that order. But another thing that can be really helpful is to look at the low strings first, put those on first because that's the ones we're strumming, and then let the others come. So for some of you that might be helpful, especially with C, F, and G7. Since the fingerings stay the same, sort of just moving and finding those low strings and then adding the index wherever it goes is perhaps a helpful way to go back and forth. So you want to go back and forth between those 2 as much as you need to. Now let's look at the F chord. The challenge with the F chord is that we have to use what's called a barring technique. And that's where we're going to use one finger to play more than one note, and it's going to bar across. In this case, our index finger is going to bar across that 1st fret on those top 2 strings. So you're actually going to play both. And in doing this, if you come at it straight on, it's kind of difficult. We can't, of course, play both strings with the tip of our finger. So if you come just straight at it, you don't necessarily have the strength, and it kind of is less comfortable. Maybe it pushes this knuckle back as you're trying to get those in there. The ideal thing is to take the side of your finger And so just flip it sideways and have that push down on the strings. And then what you want to do with your thumb is put it behind the second fret. Just put it behind that second fret. So behind the second fret, and you're going to be pushing in more of this fashion. This is a strength that we have. The strong muscle in the hand is right here with that thumb. And so this takes advantage of it as you just push that way. Pushing down this way, pinches not as strong, but when we go sideways, it's much harder if you use your strength to pull your finger out, for example. You got a lot more strength there. So turn that index finger sideways, put that thumb back. Then our middle and ring fingers just come in on that third string and fourth string, and we play only the top four strings. But this, again, as I mentioned, is perhaps the most challenging chord. Definitely the most challenging of the normal first position chords. We're going to get into some others like F sharp minor and B minor, other barring other chords where we have to use that barring technique, which are challenging, but the F chord is sort of our Mount Everest. So just like that. Now with this one, if you're really struggling with it, it's okay to just play these three strings. So the second, third, and fourth string, and mute that top string. So press down and just kind of mute it. If you need to, you full on get an F chord happening with that, and that top string just gets muted. That works for a time, and then as you get used to it, it's nice to get that top string in there as well. So that is a way to simplify the F chord. What you want to do here is go back and forth between the C and the F. Now with this one, we get to maintain the common finger of our index finger between those two chords. So you're going to leave that index finger down, and we just move the other two. And as you're getting started, maybe you just want to not even worry about the bar, but just worry about these three strings moving back and forth between that index and ring finger. If you play an open string on top, you're actually getting an F major 7 chord, which is really pretty, but usually not the sound that we're going for. So you will have to make sure and not strum that one and mute it. Once you kind of get used to that, though, then turn that finger over onto that side and try and get that bar going. And then go back and forth between that F chord and that C chord. It's really our challenging one there, and I didn't strum all the way through on the C that time, but there's the C and the F. So you want to go back and forth between those as much as you need to sort of get comfortable with that switch. And then of course you can go between F and G7. With that one, we just spreading that F out to that G7, just going back and forth. These are the more challenging of the chords. It's interesting, when I got started as a student in my youth, years ago, I picked up a book, and a lot of the method books, they started with C, F, and G7, like, okay, let's start in the key of C, but these chords are harder. F and G7 are the harder chords to finger, especially the F chord, so I thought, how strange that we're starting with the more difficult chords. That's why my method book does not start there, and we're not here until we've gotten to lesson 8. So, we got that C, F, and G7. So once we've got this, what we want to do is sort of get comfortable playing these with the strumming pattern. So the strumming pattern's familiar to us, but we've got 1, 2, up, 3, up, 4, up. 1, 2, up, 3, up, 4, up. So when we come back, what we'll do is we'll start with the C chord, then we'll play F, G7, and come back to C. We'll just give each one of those one measure on the strumming pattern. So we'd have 1, 2, retti, and C. That, and of course you can work that at different tempos. As a reminder, we can also swing those eighth notes, meaning the eighth notes that happen on the off beats or in between the beats, we can delay where they come in. So down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, creating that swung eighth note fill. Some of our grooves use that. So if we were to do this again with that, we'd have 1, 2, retti, and. Jamming on the different songs that we play and the different grooves that those songs are recorded at, and that drums and so on, then you just sort of match what feels good playing along with the band track. Whether we're swinging those eighth notes or slightly swinging them or just playing them completely even, you just match that. And as a reminder, we want to try and switch chords. We want to start that switch on that final up strum or just after it so that we're ready with the new chord by the time we hit that down strum. So down, down, up, down, up, down, up. If you need to on that up strum as you're moving, having some of those strings ringing open, that's better than getting to the time for the new chord to be in and having a pause. So if you had some open strings on that final thing, it sort of hides that change from one chord to the next. Okay, we've talked about those things before in the lesson series, so I'm not going to go over it in any more detail than that. But say it's time for us to jam together on some songs using this strumming pattern and these chords. So in doing that, we're going to start on page 47 with number 3, Cindy. Then we'll flip over to the next page, 48, and do number 4. Then we'll flip over a page to page 50, and we'll do numbers 9 and 10. So we're going to be jamming on all 4 of those songs using this strumming pattern and these chords, which is going to be super, super fun. Anywhere where we have 2 chords per measure, we'll just be bringing that second chord in right on beat 3 in the strumming pattern. So if we have C, F, going to have that new chord have this part of the strumming pattern and the first chord have that part, just like that. So C, F, G7, C, for example. So you will run into that a little bit with some of these songs, but it's going to be super fun. We'll have a great time jamming together. Each one of these songs will happen first at a slower tempo and then at a faster tempo. And as I've mentioned, when you're working through these, you need to just work the strumming pattern, then you can mute those strings and work that strumming pattern. If you just need to work on getting those chord changes happening, you can just focus on that and not worry about strumming at all, and then put the 2 together. Of course, with these, you can also work on singing, so you can practice singing right along and then start trying to finger the chords or start trying to strum right along with that singing and finally get all 3 elements happening. Okay, it's going to be super fun. Let's go ahead and jam together.
Oh, I come from mountains
Okay, awesome. I hope this is fun and helpful for you. Now, as we continue into the next video, which is part of this lesson series, we're going to be working these chords, but in 3/4 time. So we've got some songs in lesson 8 that are in 3/4 time, so we're going to be jamming together on those. It's going to be super awesome. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And be sure to check out more great content. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.